All right, here's another video for you guys. It's a little off topic, but sort of on topic and kind of relates to some of the things I've been talking about lately this past few months, since all of you asked me a gazillion bazillion times whether or not I knew about these Sasquatch beings running around. And it's obviously pouring rain right now, and I got a leaf over top of the microphone, so you might hear the odd little sound, and it's a drop of rain bullseyeing that tiny little mic. And it has not stopped raining here where I live. It's actually a little crazy. The horses are getting ready to commit suicide. I think I buy them some water wings pretty quick. But anyway, I'm also, as usual, running short on time. I'm basically supposed to be hunting full time any day now until up to December 14th, 15th-ish. So here we go. One thing I'd like to share with all of you. A lot of you are going to be aware of these simple little pointers. Many of you aren't going to be aware of this, but I want to talk to you guys about people that bullshit, people that deliver to you, deliver to the masses, deliver to a group of people, and they need you to believe them. They need you to listen to them. They need you to do what they want you to do. And there's very, very easy ways to pick out somebody who's full of shit or they got some hidden agenda, okay? And after I talk about that, what I think I might tell you guys some amusing stories, potentially kind of amusing from my past, my guiding career, and how I've learned to read people and tell if they are comfortable, deceptive, going to screw me in business or whatever. And there's ways of reading people, okay? There are ways of telling if somebody's genuine, if they have nothing hidden, if they're comfortable with you, and if they trust you. And it can potentially be kind of handy, and if it isn't handy, it's going to be amusing to hear the story anyway. So here we go. When you're watching people online, listening to somebody tell you a story, tell you the theories, tell you anything, if they're in front of a camera, if they work for, say, somebody like, as an example, a TV show or a news show, or maybe they have some kind of a YouTube channel where they really need you to subscribe and listen and come back and share it and all that other horse shit. One thing for me that I go with 100% is let's just say you're listening to somebody, whether it be on a YouTube channel, a TV show, the news, a politician, anyone, and I picture the way they are speaking to the camera, and I'll picture them speaking at home at the dinner dining table with the family. Okay? Because if you are being solid 100% yourself, you're not being a bullshitter, you're not misleading people, you don't have a hidden agenda you're not motivated, you're not in a position where you must keep the attention of your audience, where you must get them to believe what you have to say, or if you must get your audience to do what you want to do, or that you want their money or whatever. It's so easy. All you have to do is picture those people speaking to the camera and then take that delivery of speech they have and pretend you see them at the dining room table in their home speaking to their family. Okay? So as an example, you can take probably 99.9% of any news station, broadcaster, reporter, listen to the way they deliver their words to the camera, and then picture them sitting at the dining room table talking to family. Those people are full of shit. Those people are taught to deliver in a way to all of you, and they have to follow that method, recipe of delivery to you, so that you listen to them, stay glued to them, and you take what's coming from them as the truth. Whereas, obviously, with the news channels, they're only owned by 2 different corporations, I think, in all of North America, in the United States anyway, and those people are all fed bullshit on average, and they are paid to deliver bullshit to us. Okay? Another way, who else could I use an example? If you are a Sasquatch topic enthusiast, just take a look at any of the TV shows that have anything to do with Sasquatch. Listen to those people talk. There's one particular television show that's been running for quite some time. I think there's 4 different personalities on it. Listen to the way those people are delivering speech to you. They're speaking to you like you're a bunch of frickin' 7-year-olds in a goddamn classroom, and they're talking like you're a bunch of idiots. There's absolutely nothing credible in their delivery, their tone, the way they speak and deliver words to every single one of us through the camera. It just isn't. If you took one of those ding-dongs and put them on the dining room table and cut them loose to speaking the same way they deliver to the camera to their family, you're going to put them in the frickin' loony bin. You're not going to listen to them after about 3.5 minutes of that horse shit. So there you go. So there's my rant on, not really a rant, maybe it is a rant, take it for what it is. It's just to give you guys an idea how I sift through bullshit when it comes to losing time of life, listening to a stranger in front of a camera. Their delivery is about 100% of how I'm going to react to what they're delivering to me. If they do not sound 100% credible and they speak the way they probably speak to their friends and family, I'm hitting delete and I'm not going back there ever. That's just what I do. And it works. Because bullshit really stands out to me clear, bright and clear, in many different forms, whether it's in person or whether or not it's watching somebody through a lens of a camera. So I'm going to share again with you some other skills that I acquired, developed over many years of guiding people, strangers from all over the world, including, many corporate monster types, very wealthy types, celebrity types. And those, it's funny, those people are typically a category of people who have a very hard time trusting people. And it's, once you're aware of this and you observe this, it's kind of sad in a way, because you imagine going through life having people kiss your ass no matter where you are, whether it be family, business, friends, social groups, because you're worth so much money potentially, or you have such high celebrity status that people kiss your ass. And it must be a pretty lonely existence. Actually, I've witnessed it a lot. I've been with a lot of I've met a lot of people over the years who fit these categories. I've spent time with them at their homes. Not all, but a lot of people who fit that category. Very lonely people, man, because they have so many phony people in their lives who just want to get something from them. They don't trust them. They have ulterior motives, befriending them or speaking to them or being in the same club or room as them. It's kind of sad in a way. So, getting back, I'm babbling a little bit, but getting back to how I would deal with a lot of these strangers, especially the corporate monster types who are used to people kissing their ass, because I don't give a shit who you are, obviously. I don't care what you have, it doesn't matter. And I don't care what your status is in any social group or financially, that's for sure. So it's kind of amusing. When I first, towards the latter years of my guiding career, the majority of people I got were repeat customers, and that made a lot of fun. And then the odd time, though, I'd get a new person that I have to guide, or two new guys I've never ever met before. They don't know me from hole and ground. And it's kind of funny because one thing that I like to do to some of these personalities is I like to get it across to them as soon as I can that they are going to be treated absolutely equally to anybody else in the room at all times, and that they are equal to everybody in the room at all times, period. They're no better than me. They're no better than the labor wrangler or cook. They're just no better than any other human being, and that's true. They're either a kind, respectful person or they're not, and they're going to be treated with absolute respect when they first come into my world, and they'll never be treated with anything less. But they will also be treated just like one of the guys I went to school with. So here's an example of what I do when I meet somebody when they first get off the bush plane, and they usually come to Paris, and they're with us for 10 to 14 days. They spent a minimum of probably 25,000 US to 50,000 US for their hunt, depending on what species they're hunting, or if it's multiple species or whatever. And so the first guy will fly in the morning. He'll get dropped off. The bush plane will take off, and he'll typically, throw his bag in our cabin, and he'll come back and sit in the other cabin and cook shack and have a coffee or something while waiting for his partner to fly out. And then their partner will fly out, and they'll grab his bags. And if I'm there, usually I'm there when they fly in, I'll grab their bags, and what they're going to do is they're going to come and they're going to be sharing this one-room cabin with me, okay? Because my guide partner and his wife are typically in the other cabin where we do the eating and the cooking, and they have a sleeping area in that cabin. So as I go, rarely do I cut my full personality loose on anybody right off the bat, so they probably scare the shit out of them. Because I like to ham it up a lot. We laugh a lot. Myself, my friends who I surround myself with. Nobody's safe, nothing's safe, no topic's safe. We are far from being members of offended culture, that's for sure. And everything and everybody's fair game when it comes to comedy and good-hearted teasing. So But I don't obviously cut that loose on an absolute stranger who's a little overwhelmed and traveling, a little worried about where they're landing, what camp they're in. They're in the middle of nowhere. They don't know what the guide's going to be like. It's going to be some, some chew-spitting, inbred redneck, or whatever, which there's many of them in the north. Or is it going to be somebody normal? Okay, I'm babbling. But anyway. So once I get these two guys with me, I'll get the bags. I'll turn around, start heading to my cabin. Walk along, and then I'll stop dead. I'll keep my poker face on, straight no emotion, dead serious business face. And I'll turn around and go, look, you guys, just so you know, you two are in this cabin with me for the next 10 days, right? And they'll be like, hell yeah, it's going to be a good time. I'm glad we're here. All right, now listen to me. I don't want to hear any whacking off, all right? I don't want to hear any whacking off, and you look like you whack off all the time, all right? There's bushes everywhere. Your shower's on Wednesday. You can whack off anywhere you want. No whacking off in the cabin. All right, we're gonna have a good time. Come on. And I'll drop that one on the most anal-looking dude right off the bat, and the looks on their faces the majority of the time are so fucking hilarious. It's stupid. And a lot of these guys at first they'll be like, "Man, did you hear that boy said to me?" Right. They'll be kind of freaked out. Most of the times I'll get a comedic return. Like I had one guy one time from West Virginia. I dropped that one on him. I go, okay, listen, did the whole thing. I don't want to hear any whacking off. You look like you whack off all the time. He'll be, no, I don't. Hell no, I don't whack off. Yeah, I think you look pretty guilty. I think you whack off a lot. I don't want to hear in the cabin. I'm not against it, just not in the cabin with us. And he's like, nope, I'm telling you all right now. Listen to me. I don't waste boners. I don't care where I am, I don't waste boners. Now listen, the great creator, he gave each man X amount of boners, and that's all we get. That's it. Once you use up that number, they's gone. No more boners. That's what I tell my wife, and she believes me. Because I'll be like sitting there doing whatever, and all of a sudden, oh, honey, come here, I got one. Hurry up, get over here. Don't waste this one. It'll be gone forever. And that guy dropped that one on us. Oh my God, we were laughing so frickin' hard. Kind of makes you wonder if that's true or not, though, right? But anyway, those are some of the funny things I do in guide camp with strangers over the years. And it's really helped break the ice. And it also helps to tell me a lot about somebody's personality. Like if I drop that one on them and they still look a little overwhelmed or alarmed or scared, then I know to back off a little bit and wait for them to slowly come around. And a lot of these people, they've been threatened over the years at work, with what they have because of who they are. They've grown to distrust more people than they do. And it's kind of sad for me to see that shit. And so what I do then is I will back off and I'll read their body language. And this is what I'm getting at for all of you. Now, when somebody, I'm going to give you some points, okay? Now, here's an example. If somebody's not comfortable with you, or worst case scenario, if somebody does not like you, they will not be able to laugh at you. It's not physically possible for somebody who doesn't like you to laugh at you. You could be telling the funniest joke on the planet, that person is not going to laugh. Watch for that. That's 100% solid. Now, another thing is, if somebody doesn't know you, they just met you, they have to be with you or around you in a group setting for the next while. One way to tell if they are finally comfortable with you, or maybe they possibly have a personality conflict with you and they're not comfortable with you, is their body language. And you can easily test this body language. Point that I would share with you is, as an example, so let's just go back to a couple of guys I'll get off the bush plane, and they'll go into the cook shop, sit on the table, and I'll know who I'm guiding, so I will specifically sit straight across from the new stranger that I have to guide for the next 2 weeks, and I'll square my shoulders up with them, like you or the camera or him. I'll square my shoulders up, I'll face them, and talk to them, look them in the eye, and talk to them. Now, if that person isn't quite comfortable with me yet or doesn't trust me yet, their shoulders will be off to the side, and they'll be guarded. Being guarded means they'll either have their arms crossed or they'll have their legs crossed, but they will be sitting off to the side from me. They'll never be able to square up with me, put their hands down, feel casual, and be unguarded from me until they're comfortable with me. And I've done this for years. I've watched it numerous times. And actually, it's funny, it usually takes 3 days. I've never had anybody go past 3 days when they finally realize that I'm 100% not a threat, I'm sincere in everything, and I got their back, and I'm here to be their friend. And even the most uptight, guarded person, distrusting person who can't trust, I've never had anybody go past 3 days. 3 days seems to be the max. Sometimes you hit it off with somebody in the first 10 minutes. And but when you do come across those unfortunate personalities who just can't trust anyone, it's 3 days, and then I got them. And once you got them, and it's so much fun. We have so much fun, and I typically make lifelong friends out of that person, which I have I don't know how many times over the years. But so there you go. There's some pointers to share with you guys, is because one of the motivations, what's motivating me to share a lot of these stories of people's encounters with the Sasquatch topic is I am absolutely fed up. I've had it up to the nuts with this automatic distrust thing going on in our society, our communities. It's bullshit, and it's got to be put to an end. And how we put that to an end is, I strongly, firmly believe, is I am eventually going to figure out the right recipe, that we are going to make it humiliating to automatically discredit good, hardworking, honest people. And that's the way it should be. We're nothing without trusting each other, your brother, your sister. We're nothing. And good, hardworking, honest people are what they are. They're the pillars of our existence. It's who we depend on. And if you can't trust somebody like that, you have serious emotional issues that you need to work out on your own. And people like me definitely don't have the time to take you through your issues and have to work on you and convince you of anything, and spend time being victims of your issues, because they're yours. And they've been instilled on you for I don't know how many months or years or generations now, that it's okay to not trust anybody automatically, and that it's okay to discredit and attack good, hard, honest, good, hard working, honest people, and humiliate them and not trust them. It's wrong. And we're going to turn it around, and that's what I'm getting at. So anyway, aside from all that, let's just share with everybody that body language and how people react to you is a huge indicator on whether or not they trust you, find you as sincere, or whether or not they're guarded or they have something to hide. Is it whether or not they can square up with you, where they got to be off to the side and guarded like this, where they can't look in the eye. You know, looking somebody in the eye is a big one too, but what I have found over the years, and I still have real good friends of mine right now, and I watch them, and a lot of people, it's a common trait, is to not be able to look somebody in the eye that long. And I don't think that is necessarily 100% because they are not honest. It's just a human trait that is common, because I have some friends of mine that I know trust me with their lives, and they're good, solid people. I trust them in my life, but they just have a problem looking people in the eye. You know, they're just uncomfortable with it, and that's fine. An example of body language. A few years, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, I come up with a business idea. I owned it 100%. It was in a new category of business industry that I wasn't familiar with, and I came across a person who was a bit of a monster in that department, big player, and we didn't really know each other from hole in the ground. And I've never been motivated by money. Doesn't intimidate me. You know, as an example, I know for a fact, I've learned it. If it's the dollar, the big dollar you're chasing this lifetime, you've already lost. You don't get it. Thank God I learned that a long time ago. But what I had at the time, what I have is something very significant that could potentially make a lot of revenue. And this particular person that I was talking to had the knowledge to take what I owned to that level, and I didn't. Substantial revenue at the time, and I had virtually no knowledge on this particular topic, and this person knew it. So once we started picking each other's brain a little bit, like he had big interest in me and what I had, we were polar opposites. I mean, me and this guy couldn't be more polar opposite in life. You know, he was a big corporate guy, big money guy, high-end dude, big toy guy. You know, the flashy guy. He was one of those genetically built people that does not stop at making money at all costs, even though they might have 50 million already. They got to keep going. And then here's me. I just love life, and I love my freedom. I make my own money, and I'm good. You know. So I might be babbling a bit, but to make sense of this, so this guy, we went back and forth for a couple months on this item that I had and still have today, and I am the sole owner still today. And finally, I had enough of the BS, and I said, okay, what are you thinking? What do you want to do here? And he delivered a delivery to me of what he wanted to do and what kind of role he wanted to play, being potential partners with me in this business. And it was on the phone, but I had to see him in person, because there's only one way you're going to win me over, and that's if you're 100% comfortable with me, you look me in the eye, and your body language reads as green light. That's the only way you're going to win with me, period. If your delivery of speech is like you're talking to a 7-year-old, you're off the team instantly, you'll never get it back. If you can't square up with me with your shoulders, if you're guarded with me, after I've met with you over a couple months, it sure as hell isn't me about to screw you. You're hiding something from me, and you're being very deceptive, and you are telling me flat out not to trust you, okay? So it's kind of funny with this guy. So as an example, we're talking away, and I would subtly come up in front of him. If you were the camera, if you were him, I'd just slowly come up like this, and then I'd square up with him. I'd face him dead square on, like this. I just keep talking to him. And almost instantly, because he was talking to me like this, he's guarded, and he's talking like this, and he's looking at the ground, talking, not really looking at me. And as soon as I squared up with him, he'd shuffle off to the side. And keep talking to me like this. And I'm like, all right. So I keep talking to him, and then subtly, not making it too obvious, then I'd come at him from a different angle. And then I'd square up with him again. And again, he would instantly go off to the side like this, and keep talking like this, not really looking in the eye. And that man, what I noticed was after a couple months, 2 or 3 months of us going back and forth, after 2 or 3 months, that man was guarded with me, and he could not square up with me. It was impossible for him to square up with me. And that was the sole decider for me not to do any business with this man, period. I went on my way. I told him flat out, I'm out. He went his way, I went on my way, and of course it was, months later I came across people who knew him by association, knew us both by association, and then I found out that it was true, he was a bit of a dirtbag. So there you go. It was solely his body language that let me know that he was deceptive, not trustworthy, and was going to screw me. So there you go. I just thought I'd share that all with you guys, just because it's kind of fun and funny, but it might come in handy for many of you in everyday life. But getting back to the delivery of speech from people, I was definitely motivated to share that with you people, because I have a feeling there might be many of you out there who have an honest curiosity about the Sasquatch being topic, and I don't know who you are following and listening to, and I don't care. But one thing I really, really would advise all of you to be aware of is their verbal delivery to you, the way they're speaking to you, okay? Because if they're speaking to you in a way that you could not even imagine for 2 seconds, them speaking to their family or friends at a dinner table in private, they have an ulterior motive there, and they're not being true, and they're being deceptive. And that I will bet my life on. Just so you guys know, I was informed a little bit into this, I'm lacking battery space, but I was moving my feet a few times during this video, and that sound, hear that? The mic's down here, and you might hear that. I apologize, but I'm sure you're going to get across. But I'm sure I'm going to get across to you what I'm trying to get across. But anyway, so there you go. And then, there's going to be more to come. It's basically endless, and yes, we are definitely going forward with the informative documentary on the Sasquatch beings. I mentioned Netflix earlier. Just so you guys know, when I'm talking about things, when I'm talking about anything on the camera, like I am right now, I got nothing written down. Okay, there's no script. I just wing it and I spit it out. But when I use Netflix, it's just an example. It's just an example of using a large popular platform to get the word out, and the no bullshit word out, and to get people clued in, and to stick up for the good, hardworking, honest people, and get this topic brought to the next level. Whether it be Netflix, YouTube, or just a flat-out simple DVD, who knows? Whatever the appropriate method, it'll be done, and it'll be done smooth and clear, no bullshit, and it will be delivered to all of you, and nobody will stop it. That's all there is to it. And again, a lot of the comments, a lot of people are trying to caution me on not being scared. Sorry, I'm not scared of shit.